Welcome to Everyday Essence. Over the next 15 days, we'll track Europe's dramatic transition into winter, following the advance of cold fronts, plunging temperatures, and the transformative power of snow. Europe stands on the threshold of a seasonal transformation, its landscapes cloaked in the first hints of winter's embrace. Across the continent, a quiet anticipation lingers in the air, as if nature itself is holding its breath, waiting for the next act to unfold. At this moment, Europe finds itself at the crossroads of powerful and competing weather systems. Meteorologists track shifting patterns, watching as atmospheric forces gather strength, each one poised to shape the coming days in profound ways. To the north, a formidable Arctic high-pressure system builds, its icy grip tightening. This mass of frigid air begins its slow journey southward, carried by relentless winds that sweep across the land, chilling everything in their path and signaling the true onset of winter. Meanwhile, from the west, Atlantic low-pressure systems gather moisture and energy over the ocean. These turbulent systems surge toward Europe, bringing with them heavy clouds, gusty winds, and the promise of rain and snow. As they collide with the advancing cold, the atmosphere becomes a battleground of opposing forces. In Scandinavia, the first snow quietly blankets the mountains of Norway and Sweden. The landscape transforms overnight, forests and peaks draped in white, wildlife adapting to the new season. For many, this is the unmistakable signal that winter has truly arrived. Yet, in Central and Southern Europe, a deceptive calm prevails. The days are gray and still, with only subtle hints of change. But beneath this tranquility, pressure gradients are tightening, and the atmosphere is quietly preparing for what's to come. The stage is set for a dramatic shift. Energy gathers just beyond the horizon, unseen but unmistakable. Soon these forces will converge, and Europe will witness the full power of winter's arrival, a spectacle shaped by nature's relentless and ever-changing rhythms. Arctic air surges south, bringing a sharp sudden freeze to Finland, Sweden, and Norway. Temperatures plunge below -10 in Lapland, freezing water and stiffening the landscape. This is not a gentle cooling, but a full-scale atmospheric event. Residents brace for the long, dark months ahead. The cold arrives as a ruler, not a visitor. Winter's grip tightens across the north. As winter deepens, cold Arctic air sweeps down from the north, colliding with moist Atlantic winds. This powerful meeting of air masses unleashes a relentless barrage of snow across central Sweden, blanketing the countryside in white. The landscape transforms almost overnight, as fields, forests, and villages disappear beneath a thick, shimmering layer of snow. The air is crisp and biting, and the world seems to slow down, muffled by the soft silence that only heavy snowfall can bring. In southern Norway and Sweden, cities like Oslo and Stockholm are transformed. Streets and rooftops vanish under up to 20 centimeters of fresh snow, turning familiar urban scenes into winter wonderlands. The snow softens the city's edges, quieting the usual bustle, and inviting residents to pause and marvel at the beauty. For many, it's a magical sight, but it also brings new challenges to daily life. Travel grinds to a halt, as roads and railways struggle under the weight of the snow. Cars are stranded, trains delayed, and public transport faces disruptions. Snowplows and workers race to clear the way, but the relentless snowfall makes progress slow. For many, the daily commute becomes an adventure, testing patience and resilience. Yet beneath this white blanket, life continues. The snow insulates the ground, protecting plant roots and small animals from the harshest cold. Wildlife adapts in remarkable ways. Foxes and reindeer forage for food, while birds and small mammals find shelter and sustenance. The snow also stores precious water, slowly releasing it in spring to nourish the land. The snow is both a challenge and a lifeline. It tests the endurance of all who live here, but it is also vital to the northern ecosystem. Without it, the balance of life would be lost. Forests, rivers, and wildlife all depend on this seasonal transformation. Nature adapts, and so must we. Residents bundle up, shovel paths, and find ways to embrace the season, whether by necessity or for the simple joy of a snowball fight. Communities come together, helping one another through the challenges and celebrating the beauty of winter. Scandinavia is now firmly under winter's spell. The land, the people, and the wildlife are united by the snow, a force that shapes life in the north, bringing both hardship and wonder in equal measure. A powerful cold front, visible from space, surges eastward into the heart of Central Europe. It sweeps across Germany, Poland, and the Czech Republic, its progress marked by a sharp blue line on weather maps. Meteorologists track its movement with anticipation, knowing it signals a dramatic shift in the region's weather. As the front advances, it collides with lingering pockets of warm air that have settled over the land. The collision forces the warm air upward, creating towering clouds that darken the sky. The countryside and cities alike brace for the change, as a haze of warmth is quickly replaced by the ominous approach of dense, moisture-laden clouds. The atmosphere becomes charged, and the first drops of rain begin to fall. Rain quickly intensifies, but as the cold air deepens, it transforms into sleet and then snow, even in areas that rarely see early winter flurries. Streets and rooftops are dusted in white, and the familiar sounds of rain are replaced by the soft hush of falling snow. Temperatures plummet rapidly, dropping by as much as 10 degrees within just a few hours. People watch as thermometers fall, their breath visible in the suddenly frigid air. The landscape is transformed, and the warmth of autumn seems to vanish in an instant. Winds strengthen, howling through city streets and rural forests alike, bringing a biting chill that cuts through layers of clothing. Roadways become slick and treacherous as ice forms quickly, and warning signs flash to alert drivers of the sudden danger. Daily routines are thrown into disarray. Commuters struggle through snow and ice, while playgrounds and parks, once bustling with activity, now lie silent beneath a fresh blanket of snow. The city's pace slows as everyone adapts to the new reality. The front draws a stark boundary across the land. On one side, the last remnants of autumn's golden leaves. On the other, the unmistakable whiteness of winter. The transition is abrupt, and rapid adaptation becomes essential for all. By morning, Central Europe is almost unrecognizable. Towns and cities are blanketed in fresh snow, and the transformation is complete. The cold front has ushered in winter overnight, leaving a landscape both beautiful and challenging in its wake. The Alps force cold air to rise, triggering intense snowfall across France, Switzerland, and Austria. Ski resorts rejoice as over half a meter of snow falls at higher elevations. But avalanche risks soar, and mountain passes close. Travel becomes treacherous. Only the prepared venture out. The Alps are breathtaking but demand respect. Nature's power is on full display. The mountains brace for a long winter. Southern Europe tells a different story. Spain, Italy, and Greece remain mild, shielded by the Alps and Mediterranean. Rain and wind dominate, not snow, as the cold front weakens. Europe's winter is a study in contrasts, shaped by geography and sea. With clear skies, frost takes hold across Western and Central Europe. Nighttime temperatures plunge, coating everything in ice. Black ice forms on roads and pavements, creating hidden dangers. Authorities scramble to keep transport safe. The landscape sparkles, but caution is vital. Frost is both beautiful and hazardous. The focus shifts east as cold air meets Black Sea moisture, unleashing blizzards in Ukraine, Romania, and Bulgaria. Heavy snow and fierce winds create drifts, isolating communities. Power outages and travel chaos follow. The Black Sea fuels a relentless winter storm. Western Europe enjoys a brief thaw as Atlantic air brings milder temperatures to Ireland, the UK, and France. Frost melts, replaced by damp fog and drizzle. The respite is short-lived, the cold lingers nearby. This ebb and flow defines the season. The Atlantic and Arctic battle for control. Winter's story is one of constant change. The cold returns as high pressure pushes Arctic air south again. The brief thaw ends abruptly. Ice hazards reappear. Winds intensify, making the cold feel even harsher. The cycle of freeze and thaw is treacherous. Weather systems shift, impacting millions. Winter's grip tightens once more. Snowfall resumes in Europe's mountains, the Carpathians, Dinaric Alps, and Apennines. Layer upon layer builds, increasing avalanche risk. Mountain safety is paramount. Nature's investment in spring water continues. The snowpack deepens, sustaining ecosystems. The highlands are locked in winter. Wind chill sweeps northern and central Europe, making temperatures feel far colder. Frostbite and hypothermia risks rise as winds strip away warmth. Wildlife and people seek shelter from the relentless cold. The wind adds a brutal edge to winter's challenge. After weeks of freeze and thaw, ice becomes the main hazard. Black ice forms invisibly, catching drivers and pedestrians off guard. Bridges and shaded areas are especially dangerous. Even clear skies can't dispel winter's hidden threats. Vigilance is essential as winter's legacy lingers underfoot. Snowfall fades, but the cold endures across Europe. Sunlight glints off a vast, unbroken snow cover, reflecting warmth away. Temperatures remain stubbornly low, the air is stagnant. The drama of storms gives way to a deep, quiet freeze. Life slows, waiting for change. Winter's silence is profound. As the high pressure weakens, Atlantic systems prepare to return. A slow, messy thaw is on the horizon, bringing rain and rising flood risks. The transition will be muddy and chaotic. Winter's end is gradual, not sudden. The cycle of cold and mild continues. Europe's weather story is far from over. Our 15-day journey ends, but winter's challenges persist. Share your local experiences in the comments below. Your stories enrich our understanding of this continental drama. Subscribe for more explorations of our ever-changing world. Until next time, stay warm and observant.